Did you know that on turn 4, a blue-black Dimir mid-range player can flash in a Floodpits Drowner to stun down one of your creatures, and then on their turn 5, play a land, attack with their Floodpits Drowner, and then while it's attacking, activate the Shuffle Away effect, hold priority, and then ninjutsu Kaito in to return the Floodpits Drowner to their hand instead of shuffling it into their deck where your creature is going, and still hit you in the face with a Kaito. And then if you had another creature on board that you were going to then attack the undefended Kaito with, they can just stun that down with the Kaito as well. Never let the presence of an absolutely busted bannable deck in the format blind you to the absolute nonsense that other decks are getting up to and will absolutely get up to when those bans come down and the format opens up again. Oh, and if you don't have a creature on board, or you're presenting a little bit too much threat to do the cheeky Kaito play, the mid-range player will just flash in an enduring curiosity. For more standard safety PSAs, like and subscribe. Floodpits Drowner is an absolutely insane card. This thing is seeing play in Eternal format Merfolk decks, a level of nonsense that new cards absolutely should not be allowed to achieve. Players who've been sitting on copies of Lord of Atlantis since Alpha did not deserve both Tishana's Tidebinder and Floodpits Drowner in a standard cycle period. And while I respect that Floodpits Drowner was always going to see play with Aether Vial, I don't believe that putting Flash on it to give standard players a taste of that sweet interaction was, strictly speaking, dissimilar to the first hit is free. There's a particular art to what making a good creature in blue actually entails. You want them to be interactive to differentiate them from, say, green and red good creatures, but interactive in a different way to, say, white and black. And when Commander players are complaining about the fact that blue's bounce effects are experientially exactly the same as straight-up destruction when used on Commanders, or frankly anything at this point of this tempo speed of Magic, I'm actually completely on their side there. Shuffle target creature away is more powerful than destroy target creature, because a real percentage of decks just use their graveyard as a left hand. But for all my complaints about Floodpits Drowner, I have to give it one real actual compliment. And this isn't going to be under or backhanded or something that I'm doing to just appear generous or unbiased. Honestly, I think that the fact that Floodpits Drowner requires targeting a creature that still has a stun counter on it actually a fantastic piece of design. Blue has long interacted with tapped creatures. Interacting with tapped creatures has become putting stun counters on stuff. I have experienced the joy of proliferating stun counters around the commander table, but more importantly, I don't think I've ever seen a creature with a modal interaction removal effect that was self-limiting in such an interesting and well-designed way as Floodpits Drowner. It's almost a monocolor card that reads like one of those cool hybrid spells that says, if white was cast, give target creature flying until end of turn. If green was cast, destroy target creature with flying. And as much as I do a fair bit of complaining about unfun design mistakes here, I always try to look past the face of a card and see the design inspiration deep within.